Well, we're live. What's up, guys? Thin layer of dust, $2.49. Thank you so much. Before the stream even started. Damn. Getting an early start. Hell yeah. I see the expected questions. This is technically a PC port. It's based off of the Decomp project, so it's incredibly accurate to the PS1 original, which is nice. Not an official Konami port, but I just plosted the hell out of my mic. There's a guy working on decomp for RECVX. I really love this kind of stuff. Yeah, honestly, decomps and recomps are the future of video game preservation. I thought, okay, like actual hardware with a 4K upscaler, that's like future proof, right? Because 4K can, be divided into 8K or something like that. Your TV's built-in scaler can work with that. But I feel like the new future for these games is going to be native PC ports based on decomps and recomps, for sure. SH1 remake? No, this is a decomp of the original PS1 release, obviously. They have broken it down to its source code and now have created a native PS1 port. As a matter of fact, let's fuck with it. Let's play around with it. Oh, you guys aren't gonna be able to, it's so small. Can you guys see the launcher? You're gonna have to, hold on, can I zoom it in maybe? What if I do this? By the way, I have not slept yet. I'm so fucking tired. This is going to be a very stupid stream. If I'm able to produce sentences in English, we will call this one a win. Please just give me, thank you. Here we go. Yeah, so now you guys can see this. We got some options. The way I see it, I feel like we should definitely do 120 FPS. 16:9 widescreen, native 16:9 for sure. Tone mapping, I don't really give a shit. Per pixel flashlight. See, here's the thing. We'll mess with that when we get in the game because it messes up some cutscenes. Anti-aliasing, off. Leave that shit off. We want sharp-ass pixels. There's an update available. Let's fucking do it. This is going to break it. Watch. Was ham, J-Money. Dude, hell yeah. J-Money in the house. Was amming. They need to mod it so Harry wears a seatbelt in the PC port. Agreed. 100% agreed. All right. So this is another cool thing about this launcher too, is you can update straight from the launcher. And it's just as simple as opening up a new instance. And let's start a game. Let's see what happens. Oh, you know what? Actually, we should probably set some volume controls as well. Let's do this first. Hope this doesn't, exactly. Like, updating it beforehand was a mistake. Oh, I guess it's not showing up on my OBS. Interesting. I wonder why. Okay, I could see my monitor, but for some reason it's like, nah, I'm not looking at that game. All right, I guess, if you want to be a fucking jerk. Let's try window capture. Let's see. Oh, it's coming. There we go. Let's turn that down a bit. Let's go to window capture. And, I thought I already added you. This is... Welcome to my fucking streams. This is going to be real fun for everybody. The fact that I'm able to even be slightly coherent at the moment is honestly pretty impressive. Let's switch you to silenthill.exe. What? It's not. Doesn't seem to be. I don't know. Let's find out. Let's see. Hold on. Will this show up? Oh, well, we got a flash of it for a second there. Yo, we're getting flashes. Is that progress? Oh, man, computers are so fucking stupid. Whoever invented computers, I hate you. And then, of course, window capture gives me nothing. Because why would it? It's silly, I would expect. For window capture to capture a window? What an idiot I am. Why would I even... Holy shit. Dude, computers are so dumb. Let's see, maybe if I progress past the intro screen, maybe nothing will happen. Oh, we got a flash for a second. Rap Rock got the decomp. Is that like a modder, or are you just talking about how cool Rap Rock is? Because either way, I'm feeling it. All right, no, we're getting nothing from display capture, which of course we wouldn't. It would be silly for me to expect for display capture to capture my display. Ignorant.
You hear about Sony saying they're ditching physical media starting in 2028? Look, I know we're heading towards digital. It's just the way they're doing it, like not allowing us to own anything's baffle.
Listen, first off, thank you so much for the $10. Second off, I did hear about it, and it's so stupid. And I don't want to be an asshole, right? But we've given the video games industry precisely the blueprints on how to treat us. When they started pumping out Day One DLC, when they started pumping out loot boxes and gambling mechanics, and everybody was on board, and when somebody would make a video saying, you know what, actually, the people who purchase these things are the issue. Yes, video game developers are to blame for overly monetizing their shit, right? But is there zero fault with the people who purchase these things and who facilitate this in the future? I don't know, man. It sucks. I feel like I'm blackpilled on video games because it's like I only play one modern AAA release a year anyway, but still, it's so fucking dumb, dude. Game capture, maybe that'll do it. Okay, it's looking for, okay, we could see that. That's good. Let's say capture any full screen application. All right, guys, let's see if this works. We'll put it right here. Now, this is a full screen application. I have it on very good authority. And it's not. Hey, yo, I am the fucking man. Never doubt me ever again. For it is I who rules. We're to blame for some of it, but the game industry is responsible for most. Yes, introducing the idea, 100%. So here's the thing. It's like, okay, somebody sells drugs to a family member of mine, and then they OD and die. Like, obviously, I'm going to find the drug dealer, right? But can I say that my family member did not play a role in what's happening? That's how I feel about the video games industry right now. Is it a pure negative in every conceivable sense that they are getting rid of physical games? Yes. Do we sort of deserve that for allowing video games to be as shitty as they are? Like, if you bought a lot of them, yeah. You know what I mean? And Jared's so Texas. Dude, the tech savviest. Look at that handsome man on the screen. The other Harry Mason. That's me, bald Harry Mason. Yeah, so we're in. We're going to do this. We have it set to 16:9. Dithering is on. Let's fucking go. Yeah, honestly, it sucks. It sucks that we could be seeing the end of physical video games. I will be honest with you. The part of me that has a very nothing ever happens stance on things is very much in the of the opinion that people will show that they don't support this, and they will be upset about it. And oh, that's one thing. The music is fucked in this port at the moment. Where can we find this port? I have it in the description, a link to it. You can play it from start to finish. It's fully playable. It's very buggy. The music is fucked. There's a lot of issues with it, but it is fully playable. I know because I've beaten it so far 1.5 times. Fuck Sony. Agreed. Unless we're talking about PS1 era Sony, in which case it's the only good Sony. Looks great so far. Yeah, we have PGXP enabled right now, which limits the amount of affine texture warping we're getting on 3D models here, which is very nice. Sony skewed the numbers on physical sales to try and say that only 20% of all game sales are physical. Yeah, it's a fucking bullshit, dude. But 20%. Is that really what they said? Fuck off.
Hey, wait! Stop!
Oh, can we mute you? Apologies, guys. Let's see. Maybe we might have to turn this up then, if that's the case. That's not loud enough. Let's do this, perhaps. Mayhap? You guys tell me if this level of audio is doing it for you. 60 FPS Silent Hill. Here's the best part is, I mean, you guys are getting it at 60 FPS, hopefully. But 120 frames per second is what I'm looking at. And whew, it is a beautiful. It's very, very cool. And I figured the frame rate would really cause more issues for me, but it is about as much of impact as you would think, going from less than 20 frames per second to 120. It's amazing. Can I explain recomp and decomp? Yeah, I must have missed that in the chat. Okay, so the idea is with a decomp is you are decompiling code. If you don't know how programming works, which to be fair, I don't fucking either, but when you are finished with source code and you are ready to push it to like a finished state, you compile it so that you think about it like code is in its rawest form something that can be executed but very inefficiently. Then you compile it into something that a computer can read really well. And that process gives you a very efficient, succinct piece of code that can be seen by the computer. To decompile something without having access to the source code. Who the fuck is messaging me online right now? Jesus Christ. Where's my phone? To decompile that stuff without having access to the source code is a process that takes, in some scenario, I swear to fucking Christ, if this is Sam, I'm going to be so fucking... Hold up. Just 1 second. I was on a roll explaining decomps so well. Oh, no, it's Jordan. Okay, never mind. I can't be mad at Jordan. He's inviting me to a show. Yeah, so you are decompiling a video game. So imagine it as you take a video game and you compress everything down onto the disc, right? We're taking everything off of that disc and decompressing it into its rawest source format. So the decomp, I downloaded it, says the virus. It is going to say that because it's an archive file that hasn't been cleared yet. I'm running it on my system and it's perfectly fine. Everybody else is running it. When you download stuff like this, it's a .exe, so it's not signed. It's an issue in terms of Windows, but it's not a risk as far as I'm concerned. Maybe do it at your own peril, but I would say you're probably going to be fine because I've been so far. But the decomp process is something that takes a very, very long time, and it's very time consuming. And you're essentially taking references in the code and trying to find what it's referencing. And you're looking through thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of lines of code. And you're trying to get the code in its like source format so that it is in the state that it was in when they were creating Silent Hill 1, for example, right? once they get it to that point, they can then start making a native PC port, which is what they did here with Silent Hill 1. It's currently not finished, but they are in the process of making it a finished PS1 to PC port. And this is not being done through the use of, like, this is not being done with cooperation from Konami. There are no assets being provided, just a retail disc of the game being decompiled and then recompiled into a format that the PC can see. And all of the processes that it would tell the PS1 to do are being translated into something a PC is capable of. Yeah, it is fan made, but it is a PC port as well. So I wasn't clickbaiting. It truly is a PC port of the game. And you guys probably can't see it on stream, but there's dithering in it. If you look really closely, can I zoom it in for you? Hold up. Real quick, let's do this. Hold on. Yeah, let's put it like that. And then let's get back in the game. Hopefully you can see that, but it's dithering on the smallest scale. It's so fucking beautiful. Where are my dithering fans at? That's my question. Okay, let's get this back. Reset transform. I should have put this on borderless window, honestly. Yeah, he has always had very bell-bottomed out jeans, Josie. Totally random. What's your regular bench press weight? I don't focus on bench too much. It's funny you mentioned that, though. I trained chest for the first time in like a calendar year yesterday. Me and my friend were maxing out at 385, 387, whatever the right combination of weight that is. We could not get into the 400 club at our strongest, and we were very disappointed in ourselves, but we were so close to the 400 club. Beautiful. God, this game at high frame rate, my own. Yes, I don't focus on bench quite as much as I should. I'm more of a fan of dumbbell presses and
what is this?
Cable
What's going on
work.
here?
I assume you guys can tell the music is all fucked up. The entire game sounds like a club remix of all of Yamaoka's music. It's so fucking good. Dither me timbers. Yo, did you see me floating in the air? Hell yeah. Okay, I'm gonna have to turn this down. I apologize. I Silent Hilled too close to the sun. Jerry can explain dithering. Fucking, this is my favorite.
Was I dreaming?
How do you feel?
Oh, like I've been run over by a truck. But I'm alright, I guess.
Glad to hear it.
If Sony stops physical disc releases, I don't see a point in getting a PlayStation anymore. Might as well go Steam. Oh yeah, for sure. Guardian's 100% correct. Here's the thing, and this is what you have to do. You really and truly, especially now that something dead serious is going on. This isn't like that Harry Potter game that everybody claimed that they were going to boycott and they played anyway. This is not that kind of a situation. This is truly something that could affect the future of the industry moving forward. Don't support it. Do not play these fucking games that are coming out digital only. Don't support developers who are moving along with this model and supporting it. Don't support platforms. Do not pay money for these things. Is this brighter? Yes and no. These video levels are pretty much native, how it would look on the disc, but the problem is every PS1 outputs video at a different brightness level depending on the shape the caps are in on it and the board revision and stuff like that. So depending on your PS1, or even the PS2 is usually a little bit darker if you play PS1 games on it.
Hold it.
There is a Silent Hill 1 remake coming by Bloober, and honestly, I'm pretty excited. I thought Silent Hill 2 was really great, especially as a platform to build up from. If they fixed a lot of their issues in terms of facial animations and
Cheryl's my little girl.
like
Can't
cutscene
just leave her out there by
modeling,
herself.
yeah.
Have you got a gun?
Somebody asked me to explain what dithering is. Oh, happy day.
Take this.
So,
Don't have to use it.
old video game consoles and PC
Now listen.
games, they used
Before you pull
to
the trigger,
be very limited in terms of the color palette that they could use.
don't do it unless you have to.
But they wanted to give the illusion of a much deeper bit depth. They really wanted the image to look. Yeah, point it right at her face,
It
Harry.
has to stay nearby.
They wanted the image to look more textured and to have the appearance of more on-screen colors than actually were there. So they used dithering to give the illusion of more of a smoother gradient between different shades of a color versus having. If you're looking at the screen right now and you look at the upper right hand corner, the ceiling, you can sort of see they're trying to there's a gradient from a darker color in the corner moving up to a lighter color. And the use of dithering at lower resolutions like 480 and 240p was to trick your eyes into seeing that gradient pattern as a smooth transition, especially if you were playing on a CRT, which would help blend those gradients a lot better. The dithering was a really nice trick that developers would use to make their games seem to have far more on-screen colors than they did. And it's also a nice little trick that allows the console not to work quite so hard. We just missed the monster in the background because I was talking shit. Get nerdy, dude. I can't help it. I gotta get nerdy. It's a necessity. Sony's decisions over the past few years have been frustrating enough that I was already done giving them any money by this point. Yeah, for sure. I 100% understand that position. Really and truly, the only reason I bought a PS5 was to be able to compare ports on it because I'm such a port dork. And, you know, I make money off of my YouTube channel talking about video games. So it's more like a business expense, I guess, if I ever actually claimed any of those. Yeah, but dithering's very cool. Dithering's almost like if you're aware of how on Sega Genesis games they would use composite blending in order to make transparencies look real. Like there's always that scene in Sonic 2, or maybe it was the first Sonic, where you're standing in front of a waterfall, or the spotlights in Streets of Rage 2 that don't look like transparent colors if you look at them through an upscaled image, but if you look at it on a CRT, those colors blend into a smooth sort of
Radio.
transparency.
What's going on with that radio?
It's very similar to that, where if you were using the display tech of the era, the scan lines. This is such. It's so cool seeing this scene play out in full speed. How amazing is that? Get his ass. Yeah, for some reason, it takes a while for this thing to be killable in this build. Like, look, he'll say...
This is not a dream.
Yeah, now it kicks in, see?
What's happening to this place?
Sonic 1, thank you. Robert Philomio? Composite on Genesis is a must. I could not disagree more. The Genesis composite signal is so bad that a lot of like professional grade video equipment can't latch on to the chroma signal within it. The Genesis has a piss poor composite signal, and its handling of composite video is some of the worst you'll ever see in video game consoles, period. And I think people that it's a cope. It's like, oh yeah, it looks so much better. It's like, first off, the developers who were coding and releasing Genesis games, reviewing them on like professional grade video monitors, PVMs or BVMs, and it's like you were not seeing what they were seeing. So like I hate it when people try to set a standard for like this is how it was meant to look. And if that was the case, then there wouldn't be different line resolution CRTs of the day or something like that. I really I can't stand the Genesis composite thing. It's like a purist argument, and it only can be made in like 4 or 5 instances in the entire library where you could argue that the effect was crucial to the game's look, whereas most games were just 240p. You know, like Shining Force 2, one of the best games on the Sega Genesis, did not make use of any blended transparencies. It did not rely on scan lines to display its picture, and it certainly didn't. It wasn't dependent on just awful composite video handling. Oh shit! What's up, dude? How we doing? It's so weird. Your name is Death Moths. It's a strange name. I want you to know that. Hey, Vampire Rose. Yeah, they did port it to PC, but when you say they, we are talking about the fans and not Konami, which honestly makes it way better. What do you think the latest DC singles? Like the band DC? I'm 100% if we're talking about the Tokyo like death metal beatdown band, everything they do is correct and good and will always be supported by me. DC is so fucking good live. If you've never, just literally the letters D and C, they are a death metal slam band here in Tokyo, and they are some of the most ignorant, rowdy, stupid music you'll ever hear in your life, and I could not recommend them anymore. Another Konami L. At this point, it's infinite amounts of Konami L's. Yeah, I mean, I definitely think it will be done correctly, because we're looking right now at an alpha build of it, and the game's fully playable from start to finish. As we'll probably end up seeing, there's a lot of flaws, and there's a lot of bugs that we'll run into. But in terms of, this is something that didn't exist like a week ago, and now is playable to the very end of the game. It's hard to argue that that's not really fucking cool. I don't know if you ever liked Bring Me the Horizon, but their new song absolutely fucks. People have been telling me that. A buddy of mine in my group chat was saying that he really gets into it. I never got into that band too much, to be honest. Are they the ones who sing that one song, Can You Feel My Heart? Because outside of the memes, honestly, that's a really fucking addicting song. I won't lie. So if that's them, then I could imagine I could fuck with some of their stuff. I'm very edgy. You are for sure. It should be like dark black death moths. True Japanese hip hop. For sure. That's exactly what they are. DC's so fucking cool. Only a week old. The project has been around for a bit, but this fork of the decomp project that made it into a playable PC port is not very old at all. And it's only been playable for about a week now. I think the last time I streamed, the news that this was out was just hitting the internet. So I downloaded this as soon as I got done streaming last time. Bought Heartworm last night? Hell yes, dude. Heartworm's so good. It was really cool to see a game that kind of like really accurately depicted death anxiety and sort of existential dread as well as Heartworm did. It felt almost for me the same way that people look at Silent Hill 2 in how it dealt with like bullying, suicidal ideation, or sexual assault. That's how I feel about Heartworm when it comes to like death anxiety. It's just so fucking on the nose and respectfully handled. It's so good. We need a Parasite Eve decomp. I think that that's the truest statement that anyone's ever written in any chat ever. Could not agree more. Yeah, that Time Splitters van project. I remember hearing about it, but I never actually got my hands on it. Is it in a playable state? It's amazing they managed to make the alpha version play. Oh, it's so cool. I'm blown away, honestly. I think there's two big issues for me.
Isn't the Cheryl sketchbook?
The music is really fucked up for some reason. The music playback is really weird. And when you're in interior locations, the 3D textures will get all fucked up. And you kind of have to leave and reload a room in order to fix them. I would say those two issues sort of make this more of a, if you played Silent Hill before, definitely play the PC port. But if not, this should not be the way you experience it first. But as soon as they fix those two issues, that's it. It's good to go as far as I'm concerned. And you guys know I am famously hard to please. I'm a little bitchy when it comes to ports. They turn the snow into bugs. No, it's just like that's what it was on the PS1. It was just little squares. I guess technically it's triangles on. Who was it that tried quad? Was it Sega Saturn that used quads, or was it Sega Saturn used triangles and PS1 used quads? I forget. At first, I thought the snow was falling too fast because of the frame rate, maybe. But then I captured some footage of the PS1 version. It's the same exact rate. I was very surprised. We're going to do a little exploring before we take care of anything for real. The true way to experience it is on PS1 and CRT TV, but that's a tall order these days. Yeah, for sure. You know, this is one game where I feel like even you have to have the kind of eye that appreciates upscaled video games, but I think this is one of the very few games where I would say a CRT helps it achieve its intended look far better than a really high quality scaler will. And you guys know I don't say that very lightly. But the problem with the original PS1 release of Silent Hill 1 is there's a lot of video issues. Like screen tearing is rough. Even in the PS1 original, using a CRT and everything, you will see screen tearing, and the fact that it runs at sub 20 FPS in a lot of scenarios is not good. I know what I'm playing tomorrow. You know, so I forgot to touch on this. Everybody was already saying it in chat. But yeah, when you download this, it is going to be read as a virus. Chrome sees it as a virus and won't let it download. I had to go into Chrome's AI and ask it how to disable the protection so I could download it, and then how to whitelist it on Windows Defender, because I've never had to do that before. So it might be a little scary if you're not used to digging into Windows and changing the way that it works. So far, I haven't had any issues, and a lot of people have been playing this, so I feel like most people are going to be totally fine. But at your own discretion, certainly. When I was a kid, I didn't have money for a PS1, so I got the second best thing. What's the second best thing? I got to know now. Oh, they do have a CRT filter. Thank you for reminding me about that. Ezilalia? Hopefully I said that right. Okay, so this is right here. This is the native level of affine texture warping you would find in a PS1. It's just obviously far more noticeable because it's not being masked by the 240p every other line being turned off effect from a CRT. So this is texture warping, not cut out. If I hit F1 here, As you can see, most of it goes away, right? But it's still there to a degree. So that's really cool. That's one thing they added that I think is godlike. Ooh, GS Wolfwood gifting out a membership. Hey, thanks so much. You're a new member, right? You joined up last stream, if I remember correctly. Thanks so much, man. What does F2 do? Okay, so there's the CRT effect here. I don't like the vignette. And, you know, to be honest with you, the masking is not terrible. You can kind of see the individual phosphors, which is nice. I think the game's a little too high resolution to benefit from it, though. So this is just scan lines with no CRT warping. Vignette, which honestly might be the way to go. That's pretty good right there. And I think this is some kind of weird color filter. And then it's like emulating RF signals, I guess. And then that's normal. What does F3 do? I forget. Oh, this is the recolor stuff. So this is normal. They have one that's supposed to be filmic. That's a really crisp color palette. Let's stick with that. And then F4 is our flashlight, which when we get into Midwich Elementary, we'll really be able to tell. So they added in code for a per pixel lighting implementation for the flashlight. And if you've ever heard me talk about video games, you know that that kind of stuff gives me crazy boners. I go wild for per pixel lighting in retro consoles. So the only problem is at the moment it really fucks with the lighting in cutscenes, which makes sense. Flashbang. Is there a GitHub name? Yes, I have it linked in the description. Like I was saying to everybody else, though, it does get flagged as a virus by Chrome and Windows, but it's a pretty much unsigned raw.exe. That is to be expected. But just in case you don't do shit like that very often, just don't do anything you're not comfortable with. All right, let's turn around. We're just filling out the map at this point because fuck it. Hey, Pixel Perfect Boners, that is exactly what I get, Guardian Beardweiser. You said you don't need any more RE after 9. I have a feeling that you're going to be eating your words when Code Veronica comes out. I would be very happy to eat my words in that sense. I'll tell you what, if they fucking make that game so badass, I will happily eat those words. Don't you worry. Yeah, but you know, really and truly, the sentiment was that I don't rely on Resident Evil for survival horror anymore. And I think even with the Code Veronica remake, we're probably not going to see like true survival horror in the state that it was in the original. You know what I mean? So I don't foresee that being a thing, but if they treat Code Veronica the way they did RE2, holy shit, can you imagine how good that's going to be, dude? Just the Resident Evil 2 treatment, but with all of Code Veronica settings and... oh, fuck, what is... I haven't slept yet. I can't think of words. Set pieces and characters and... man, I just fucking... Hell, I'm getting myself excited thinking about it. Code Veronica does have a better than good chance of doing well, I think. Capcom has been winning more than they've lost lately, which is not common for the company, so it'd be nice if they kept that up. Yeah, fucking get hit, bit with the pipe. Pipe in his ass. Get him. Thankfully, the survival horror drought came to an end the last couple of years. The 2000 teens were pretty 100%. And that's why when I started this channel, my opinion is the Resident Evil is dead and we should allow it to die because we obviously weren't ever going to get anything like the classic games anymore. Little did I know, I was sort of right. But I was wrong in the sense that the indie scene would pick up that torch and run with it at full fucking speed. Honestly, I'm gonna worry they'll cut way too much content to fit development schedule. You truly would not be... it wouldn't be crazy for you to be worried about that for sure. The odds of that happening are pretty good. It is Capcom. I mean, even the Resident Evil 2 remake, which was handled so well, it still had a lot of cut content, you know? So there's a reason for pause in that sense. But I think I haven't really thought about this a lot, so I don't necessarily know how I feel, but I think I've already made peace with the idea that Capcom is going to make wild changes to Code Veronica's story, certainly to Albert as a character. Not timed correctly. Oh, fuck yes. Wait for it. Damn it. Listen, I will waste all my health. Just, it's so worth it. It's so fucking worth it. Got him. I'll die right here. Fuck me. Come on. Alright, fine. I'll heal. Fine. Assholes. I wanted that so bad. I wanted the perfect. And then 2 bullets is all it takes. Chronos was a breath of fresh air. I agree. I was really surprised by Chronos. And I don't know why, because it's not like I expected it to be bad. I don't know what I expected, but it just ended up being better than that. It was just very good, very mysterious and cryptic. I was feeling it. Happy fucking 4th, baby. Hell yeah. Hopefully everybody here is getting drunk on freedom and appreciating beers. Okay, and then we will turn around. What am I missing? I'm trying to get all 3 keys before I head to the house. Oh, interesting. CVX was your first RE. Didn't get far? That makes sense. It was a tough one. I do not blame you for not getting far. Is Mr. Pyramid Hat in this one? And sadly, no. Which, you know, makes it kind of bad when you think about it. No Pyramid Head. It's like new Resident Evil fans when they hear Leon isn't in the next game, because they don't understand that Leon isn't the main character of Resident Evil. It is kind of interesting, the whole LARPing thing that happened with RE9. You just had a bunch of like TikTok dorks get a hold of RE9 and they're like, oh, this is what Resident Evil is all the way? I'll just continue forward as if that was the case. Most graphically impressive game for me recently? I don't think I can say 9. Although 9 was good. What was really graphically impressive? Man, that's tough. Here's the thing. There have been a lot of really good looking games. But they've all had really bad flaws. They've all been like Unreal Engine bullshit. And like I've had to like say that I enjoy their look through gritted teeth because anti-aliasing is fucked up or frame pacing is all screwy and then there's a shit ton of traversal stutter. Maybe in a lot of ways, maybe 9 is the most graphically impressive game for me at the moment. But that being said, it really isn't the greatest thing in the world. All right, what else? What do we have? Do we have all 3? Oh, Jared, you idiot. Okay. I'm so dumb. Leona, Kentucky. That's unironically a really cool fucking name. Death Stranding 2. You know, I still haven't played part 2. Me and my wife really wanted to get into it. Death Stranding was one of our together games. One of those games that we just liked playing together. What were we playing last? Me and Josine were playing Silent Hill 1 for a while. She was playing through it herself for the first time. I mean, she rented it with a friend of hers, I believe. Her and her friend Lauren. But I don't know that she's ever actually put some serious time into it. So me and her got like 2/3 of the way through the game. And life got in the way. Let's see if they fix this with the update. Watch the transition. No, it's still fucked up. This is one of the issues I noticed the first time through. Stalker 2 is extremely underappreciated. Graphically, that game's light, but it's still under the Bethesda thing where... Yeah, see... I think Stalker 2 did a... I don't know, it's tough, man. I really hate Unreal, and I genuinely might have preferred just for it to be X-Ray Engine again. Oh, shit. Mr. Gilmore, what's up, dude? Damn, since 5 was the last one you played? Holy shit. Oh, okay, so here it is. Here's the per pixel light code, which as you can see, it's a smooth oval extending from the flashlight, right? But if we change that to per vertex, now it's obviously much brighter, but if you look as I move it around, you can see the flashlight sort of illuminating vertices as it moves, as opposed to smoothly lighting a cone and keeping that shape. Let's change it back to per vertex. And you can kind of see how each vertice sort of like, you see triangles lighting up as it moves, right? Hopefully. Because it's possible I'm insane and none of this is real. So for an AI coded port / decomp, do you recommend this over DuckStation? At the moment, it's not as finished of a product as if you were to pop in the Silent Hill 1 ISO into DuckStation. I think right now it's more than a proof of concept. It's more like you're getting in early on a very cool thing. But there's a lot of stuff going on here that isn't being done quite so well on DuckStation. Like, this is native widescreen, and it's opening up the playable FOV, which is something DuckStation isn't able to do. It can only sort of emulate the process of that. And then other stuff like the per vertex versus per pixel flashlight is not something that could be done on DuckStation. So you're getting stuff here that you wouldn't get with an emulator, but you're also going to get bugs you wouldn't get with an emulator. At the moment, this is more of like a really fun way to play through the game if you've already experienced it. But if you're dead set on playing on PC, and you want to play Silent Hill for the first time, emulate it. Don't do this. It's not at that level yet. But it will be very soon, I believe. There's nightly builds for this thing, and during my process of capturing footage, I think there were 4 updates that I was able to get footage of. So they are working on this actively. So it's a game that I think you certainly wouldn't miss out if you gave it a bit of time. Fuck you, asshole. Now, the only reason I'm going to kill these guys is because these items here can be a motherfucker if they're lunging at you. Just FYI, Jared, I got you on my phone and Gleaming the Cube on my TV. Dude, Gleaming the Cube. What a fucking movie, bro. Oh, God, there's nothing better. That ending scene where they kit him out a board that's specifically made for bombing hills. It's so good. They're in like a fucking, not a missile silo, like a bunker. building him a skateboard that can handle chasing a car, which is so fucking retarded. Oh, you don't get better than that. And then the best part is the intro for Gleaming the Cube. You got Tony Hawk, Mariano, what's his name? Guy Mariano's there. Fucking just like everybody from Bones Brigade. Everybody from the original Bones Brigade lineup is in that intro. It's so cool. I love Gleaming the Cube. Is this a group or just one person? I've seen Rohan tweet about it, I think. You know, honestly, I'm not sure. I want to say that it's just a single person, but I don't know why I want to say that, because I don't know if that's true. One thing we can all agree on, the Stalker game, is the music is great. The menu theme. Oh, God. I mean, you want to talk about... I used to listen to that first... the Shadow of Chernobyl menu music from Muse. Like, that was just heavy in my rotation because it was so atmospheric and so... I don't want to say emotional, but it did kind of like draw up some kind of emotions in me. And I was obsessed with Stalker at the time. So anytime I couldn't play Stalker, I would listen to that song and I would still be able to get that sort of emotional effect of being in the zone. And, you know, I think I talked about this in my Stalker retrospective, but it's worth repeating. I think I did myself a disservice by going on the internet and researching a whole bunch of shit about Stalker, about the lore of the zone. I think I really fucked myself in that sense, because one of the best parts about playing Stalker for me was the mystery, not understanding where the Snorks came from, not really getting how the Brain Scorcher worked. And now that I know, you know, essentially everything there is to know about the zone, I don't know that it's better. I kind of preferred wondering or maybe making up my own lore in my, you know what I mean? When you were in King Conquer, did you guys have a van nickname? Popular one is Tony Hawk. We had Buck, something Buck. Some old Buck, something Buck. I completely forgot. When it broke down, we took a picture to commemorate it. Something Buck. I completely forget. Been a while since I heard Muse. Dude, it's honestly some killer shit. And then the Call of Pripyat soundtrack. Holy fucking shit, dude. Atmosphere bottled. All right, let's go to the bus. The bus is an interesting area in the PS1 original because it runs at 12 frames per second, which I don't know why. Maybe it's because a portion of the environment is viewable outside of the bus. But if you walk around in here, you're walking around at 12 frames per second, which is a little grody. I'm not going to lie. But we're rocking it. 120 locked in, baby. Rad or Thrashin'? I gotta go Thrashin' for sure. Wait, is Thrashin' the one with what's his face? God damn it. The Thanos guy. What's his name? Brolin? Josh Brolin? I think that's Thrashin'. The older you get, the more you'll forget, so eventually it'll be a new game. Honestly, that's how it is when I haven't played one of these Resident Evil games for a while and then I stream it. It's like, oh yeah, I forgot everything about this. Kind of like Doom with Eternal. They showed the Dark One and it was just Doom guy, really dumb and ruined the mystery. Yeah, like there is a part of experiencing a video game that is almost reliant on your brain doing a bit of the legwork. And while it is satisfying to scratch that itch and research and oh, by the way, this is the glitch I was talking about. Interesting, it happened immediately, huh? Yeah, so this is one of the big problems with playing through this game as it exists right now. And it's pretty prevalent. This will happen off and on throughout the entire school. I wonder if I could trigger it to stop. Let's see. I guess right now everything's just loaded into memory. Once we clear VMem, I imagine this will go away. But this happens kind of often. This is why I would say this is not a port that you would want to play as a first time type of person. But if you already know Silent Hill like the back of your hand, then this is not an issue at all. Our dementia comes with unlimited new survival horror games. Good deal, honestly. Hell yeah, dude. Mick Gordon's doing the soundtrack for the new Gundam game. Interesting. That guy fucking rules. You know, if I had to stop and guess what a form of sort of underground independent music would make it into like modern popular mainstream video games, I would not have guessed Gent. I certainly would not have guessed Gent. So that's very cool. All right, let's see. Maximum effort. Oh, you fucker. We were so close. Get his little booty. Get his booty. Textures look whack. How dare you? This is how the game was meant to be seen, that right? Yeah, they look pretty shitty. This is one of the few games where I feel the low resolution and imperfection of the image actually helps the atmosphere a ton. It gives, I think, the pixelization, the dithering at 240p, it certainly gives the game an amount of texture that is lost if you play it at 4K with everything being upscaled properly. Even with a really accurate upscale, you're missing out on a bit, for sure. There's no doubt about it. Huntimo setting off some fireworks? Hell yes. You better be missing one finger by the end of this stream. They represent Harry and his kid when they attack? They do not. I don't believe that is true. I forgot to ask, but did you see the gameplay for the Hellraiser game? It looks like BioShock, and I fucking love it. I don't think I saw any gameplay. I think I saw like a teaser trailer or something. That's kind of cool, though. I think that's a really good idea. That's an interesting property to bring back in that kind of form. I think it could work for sure, though. And nothing else feels like Silent Hill 1. I mean, it can't. Silent Hill 1 was so fucking interesting for what it achieved and why it set out to achieve it and the misfits that were tasked with doing. I mean, it's just so fucking cool. What a cool story the entire ethos of Silent Hill 1 is. Why am I not setting off fireworks? You know, I don't know if I can here in Japan. But also because I haven't slept yet. Oh, he's still alive, that's why. And right now, I would not trust myself with a lighter, let alone the fireworks that I would be lighting with him. Looks promising for this project. Excited for an update on the remake. Yeah, that'll be really cool. I think Silent Hill 1 would probably fit better into the gameplay changes made in Silent Hill 2 versus how it felt a little unnatural for SH2. the changes they made, like for example, having the environment sort of snake back in on itself and unlocking shortcuts the whole way you went, making interior areas like significantly longer. All that stuff feels like it would work really well in Silent Hill 1, probably better than it would in Silent Hill 2. If you asked me for my opinion. And nobody ever does. It's not another asymmetric online multiplayer game. I think those are starting to come to an end, honestly. Okay, so this game loaded in pretty okay, but if you weren't looking at these trash cans and the flyers here, you could be forgiven for not knowing that the textures had loaded in wrong. And here's another interesting part of this PC port. All of this stuff is streaming from a Silent Hill 1 retail ISO. Like you have to provide a disk image for Silent Hill 1 for this PC port to work. So it's streaming the assets straight from the disk, as it were. Damn, close to 100 degrees in North Carolina. Goodness gracious. Harry? Okay, we're good. You're a fucker, Harry. I hope you know that. Yeah, get hit. Get fucking hit. I don't know why I kill these guys. It's like, I'm not going to come back in here. My only hope is that Bloober got the message about too much combat in SH2R. You know, I mean, I guess because I enjoyed the combat in SH2R, that wasn't as much of an issue for me. I see where you're coming from, though. And, like, there's a reason that's such a prevalent complaint. But I kind of found the combat to be really fun. So I was less miffed about that. Looks like if I were reading the data with my eyes. Yeah, it's not perfect. It's certainly not perfect yet. But really, what is? It wouldn't be Silent Hill if I didn't just miss like 3 fucking shots in a row. The melee combat got kind of repetitive. See, I think by the time the melee combat did get to a point where it was repetitive, I had firearms and enough ammo to supplement the melee combat. You know what I mean? A quick shot to the leg, or utilizing the stagger of a good hit to get off a headshot, or, you know, something like that. It helped augment the combat to a degree. Oh, that sucks. This is such a cool cutscene. It's going to be fucked up now. Let's see if we can reload the room. Hey, look at that. Where can you play SH1 online? If you check my description, I have a link right there. Kitten cat. Happy 250th? Hell yeah, dude. Live on. Here's to another 250 more. Of America somehow sucking ass, but simultaneously being the greatest country on earth. I don't know how the fuck we do it, but here we are. Kicking ass and sucking ass at the same damn time. I was actually, I was just talking about it with my wife. I saw this video of this family who had went to Vietnam, I want to say, and adopted a special needs child and brought him back to America. And as the kid grew up, he grew to just love America, and he was like super patriotic. And I won't lie to you, it sort of got me a little teary-eyed thinking about like how from an outsider's perspective who grew up without the freedoms enshrined in our founding document, how cool it must be to experience all the shit that we sort of take for granted as Americans. Because, like, we have the freedom to fucking hate America if we want to, right? And it sort of almost seemed like exercising your freedoms by being incredibly critical of the government. And you should be, that's what they're there for. Like, the reason, like, America is sort of built on the idea of rebellion and revolution and pointing out shit that's fucked and being very opinionated about it. But then you start to forget that another part of America is like doing really dope ass shit and being free to speak your mind about it and being a fucking asshole. And that's cool because you could do that, So it's really fucking nice every once in a while to look at the country that you've gotten so used to from the perspective of somebody who hasn't had a chance to enjoy it quite as much as you have. Like, look, we have the freedom to hit children with pipes in any school we want. And we will. This is illegal in America. And I will fight to the death for your freedom to do it. Just walk into a school and start hitting motherfuckers with pipes. People really take it for granted, and Euros realized how screwed the depictions of America they've grown up with are. What's really cool, NetWraith, is that small period of time where America and Japan were like fucking this on Twitter. Like, Japanese Twitter accounts were just like, yo, I want to cook barbecue and shoot guns with my American friends. And I was like, dude, yes, that is precisely what we want and what we need. That's the kind of unifying banner that we need to be under, is guns and barbecue and fucking being ignorant as fuck. Hell yeah. Look, that kid had a knife. He's reaching. He's got a knife. Beat him to death with a pipe, quick. Finds handgun ammo on a classroom desk. This is set in America. It is, yeah. Hell yes. As a child in America, you have a right to get your hands on a firearm in the most dangerous scenario imaginable. Is this live? Why do people always ask if this is live when I'm streaming? Do you think YouTube, when it has the live thing around my channel avatar when I'm live, right? I've never watched my own streams before, so I'm not sure. Is this the fan port to PC source port? Yes and no. It's kind of a source port in the sense that they are decompiling the source code, but I guess yes. Yeah, I don't have to complicate things for no fucking reason at all. Yes, it is. It is based on the source code for the PS1 version. Very, very cool stuff. Okay, so we have we have to put it in. That's right. Okay. That's what she says. But I have to have Coolio's Gangster's Paradise playing through this section of the game. Okay, so interesting you say that. I don't know if you're being serious or not, but there are certain songs that make no sense that I have to play during certain games. For example, the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones album, Let's Face It, I have to play when I play Resident Evil 2, because there was a time when I was visiting family in Alabama and I had brought that CD because the impression that I get was like it just hit the charts. It was hot. And I bought Let's Face It. Great album. Fucking awesome album. And I I didn't have any games with me, but I had my PS1, so I went to like the local mom and pop video joint, and they had RE2, which I had already beaten a trillion times, but I was like, fuck it, man, come on, let's fucking go. So I listened to that album and just played the shit out of Resident Evil 2 over and over and over again. And now it's sort of become the de facto experience for me. Such a good album. Dude, of course you would like, dude, I have, in my old age, come to grips with the idea that the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones across their entire career have just been fucking awesome forever. They've never stopped hitting. Just constantly great. That one song they have, Toxic Toast. Oh, so fucking good. Where'd You Go? That should be in some sort of a museum, preserved, so that Americans further on down the line can know what good ska is. Wham, 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 dun, 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 dun. Where'd you go? That dude's voice is so fucking good. And the fact that they like came up in the Boston hardcore scene as a ska band with that sound, at first you're like, oh yeah, I wouldn't have thought that. But after you hear the sort of harshness of the guitars from Mighty Mighty Boss Tones, you start to go like, yeah, you know, actually that makes sense that they were kind of around like hardcore punk and stuff and a tougher music scene. I won't lie to you though, Dan, man, I'm not super into Royal Oil. I like every other song on that fucking album. Royal Oil I will listen to, but it is not my preferred track off the album for sure. I would prefer Rascal King maybe, if I had my choice.
You plan on playing RE9 on Insanity mode? I hear it's extreme on Grace's part. On Leon's part, it can be harder than normal, especially with the blister heads, but it's slightly above normal mode.
You know, first off, thank you for the $10, Douglas Monroe. I think I probably do need to play Insanity mode at least once, right? You know, at the moment, there's a lot of other shit going on that I genuinely am mega interested in, so I wouldn't say it's going to happen anytime soon. But yeah, I for sure have to play Insanity mode at some point, for sure. Okay. It would be nice not to have to... Oh, okay, here we go. Maybe I can utilize that discrepancy in their timing. Nice. Also, another interesting pairing of like weird music and media that doesn't make any sense. That same Mighty Mighty Boss Tones album, for some reason, I have a weird association with the heavy metal magazine comic, I guess. I just used to listen to that album a lot when I was doing a lot of shit, and I'm only just realizing it. All Scala albums will be burned in a pit. Dude, come on, David. You got to give it to me. Please. MMBT is for real shit. You have to. And if it wasn't for ska, who would give us the best 80s song covers? Come on. Get with it, David. All right, I'm gonna disappoint you guys, but I don't feel like figuring this out on 0 hours of sleep in the last 24 hours. I apologize. Normally, I would shun another streamer for doing this. But I don't really care. Also, I'm stupid and dumb. I shouldn't have said anything. Oh, fuck. I fucked it up. I should have just jumped in here, act like I memorized this entire puzzle. Yeah, anyways, I do this all the time. It's no big deal. How did I fuck it up? How did I fuck it up? Asshole. What's the other My Mighty Boss Tone song that just fucking kicks all kinds of ass? Yo, that's the end of it, dog. Oh wait, I'm looking at a fucking, that's why. It's Reddit. God damn it. What a stupid fucking website. I'll tell you what, this one thing that really pissed me off when that one YouTuber, Synthetic Man, got a hold of my Cat video is everybody in his, everybody that came to my video from his chat called me a Redditor. And it's like, I don't even fucking have a Reddit account. I have to ask my wife to post my videos on Reddit. Don't ever fucking call me a Redditor. I don't argue atheism with people. Come on. Oh yeah, I was trying to think of that Mighty Mighty Boss Tone song. It's sort of in the same era as Where'd You Go? Someday, I suppose. So is Crow, to be fair. No, honestly, I get the feeling that guy developed an opinion about RE4 remake and was just, I think a lot of people probably came at him with a bunch of shit saying like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, here's something that completely disproves what you're talking about. But he got really into the argument, and he was in a position to where like he was stuck in a corner. And it's like, well, I've already sort of made this my whole thing, so I can't necessarily come out and go, hey, you guys were right. So he had to double, triple, and quadruple down. Honestly, I think that's what it was. I don't even think he's as stupid as he seems to be when he talks about audio, because he is a YouTuber, and I imagine he probably watches other YouTube content and understands what goes into stuff like streaming and handling audio sources, and why it's so common for streamers to have to adjust audio during the beginning of a stream, and especially during the beginning of a game, when the game starts out at a point where the volume's very low. I don't imagine somebody who has gotten to his size on YouTube would make that mistake. So I would assume that's, and this is me being nice. I think he's not dumb. I think he's just dishonest, and that's better. I would rather him be smart enough to know how to be dishonest with people than to be so stupid that he thinks Resident Evil 4 isn't loud enough because streamers have to adjust their volume while streaming it. You fucking idiot. I remember years ago, Jared, there was a lot of people in Reddit giving you shit over something stupid. Yeah, that makes sense. I would imagine so. I'd say a lot of shit people on Reddit probably wouldn't get into. For example, people on Reddit suck. They probably wouldn't like that. I think back when I first started my channel, like 12 years, maybe less than that, like 10 years ago or something like that, I would go on to subreddits and, you know, try to self-promote a bit. But I would do it on subreddits that were, what's the word? Like relevant. You know, it would be a subreddit about survival horror, and be like, hey, I just made this like think piece video discussing how Resident Evil is dead, we should let it die, or whatever it was. But I would get shadow banned, and like that, we actually confirmed a buddy of mine couldn't see any of my posts. But they would shadow ban me because I was self-promoting so much, and I'm like, but if I get somebody else to do it, that's fine. I don't understand it. Why can't you just have a subreddit? Because yeah, maybe you don't want people self-promoting. I kind of understand the reasoning behind it, because then that's all they're going to come there to do. But if they're able to post a video that gets a dialogue going, or brings a lot of eyes to the subreddit, or starts a discussion that's very active, I fail to see how that's like an issue that a moderator would have to. I don't know. But then again, like, I guess if you're a Reddit moderator, you should probably burn alive anyway, so. They melt down at the dumbest things. That's one thing that kills me, is to be on the internet, when people are on the internet and they treat it like it's this real thing. It's like you're a Reddit moderator and you're like, no, I said you can't talk about that on this subreddit. It's like, dude, there's so much shit out there in the world. There are people you could meet and discussions you could have, and there's countries you could go to and things you could see. And you choose to spend your time for free putting in hours of work for the Star Wars fucking leak subreddit. You... I shouldn't say that. Just think of like the fucking wildest shit and just imagine that's what's in my head right now. Big difference between posting a Let's Play and a think piece. Yeah, and that's another thing too, is I've never really done that kind of content. So it was always just, you know, it was stuff that was relevant to what people, you know, whatever the subreddit was about. Like if it was about like independent RPGs, oh, like, hey, I just put a video out talking about my favorite like turn-based RPGs on Steam right now. And they'd be like banned for self-promotion. And it's like, wait, what is this about? Like, what's the purpose of this subreddit exactly? Because if somebody else were to post that same video, it would be okay. That's a weird fucking rule that you can't keep consistent. Again, though, it's Reddit, and who gives a shit? But also, I don't like it when things don't make sense. If it's stupid, I want it to be stupid in a way that's like rational. Yeah, these are some cool textures. All right, real question. Is it super obvious that I have not slept in a long time? Like, am I slurring my words? Because I feel like I am. Me and my friend were installing home theater equipment once, and we went to Cedia, which is like a custom home theater installer convention, and we were building like a home theater room out of extruded aluminum and soundproofing panels and stuff. It was really fun, but packing the truck took a full 18 hours, and then we had to drive from South Florida to North Georgia, and we didn't sleep. It ended up being for something like 48 hours. We were just up and drinking nothing but 5-hour energies. And we got pulled over by a cop on the highway. And then the cop was like, I'm going to pretend like I didn't hear that, because technically, if you haven't slept in that long, I'm supposed to treat you as like driving under the influence. I didn't know that. But when you haven't slept in 24 hours or something like that, there's some kind of a benchmark for it that cops have to treat it like you're driving drunk. Hey, Regan, what's up? Thank you for the $2. Hill's a bit silent. Hey, a little silent. You know how these hills be. Am I crazy, or is your YouTube name different now? Have I lost my mind? Has it always been Regan Callahan? Oh, Callahan. Ooh, I almost fucked that up. These guys look so fucking cool. It's almost like one of those like 1930s divers suits, which are in and of themselves like inherently scary. Does that mean I've been shooting drunk on Counter-Strike? That'd make sense. Yeah, it does actually. That's precisely what that means. Cockroach, that's because you tried booze for the first time. I feel like I would be a very aggressive drunk. I would be fucking with people. Oh, whoops. Didn't mean to do that. Are no sleep pessimist. Oh, okay, hold on. Arkanu, what are some of the stupid rules for are no sleep? Now I need to know. That's very relevant to what we're talking about. You start hallucinating after 48 hours. Yeah, for sure. And we also found out you can only drink so much caffeine.
Pills be
before
like
throwing
my
up.
dad. Silent but deadly.
You know what? Honest, first off, thank you for the $2, Regan. Second off, now we're getting more Regan lore. Your name hasn't changed? Okay. I for sure have not slept in a while. It's kind of cool being able to see the character models behind the stalls. Although this is not how I would choose to view this game normally. Paradox Panda says, literally my favorite game from my childhood. Then my brother traded it for a copy of Metal Gear Solid. Oh, that's tough. You get a lot more replays out of Silent Hill than MGS, I feel like. I had a similar problem. My brother had a drug addiction when I was growing up. So I had a lot of, for example, I had a copy of Persona 2 Eternal Punishment that he pawned, Tales of Destiny on the PS1. Oh, let's pour one out for the games we've lost along the way. Oh, the textures are actually loading just fine. This is just your mind turning again. It's finally happening. I knew this day was coming. Much like me, this day was coming. Are No Sleep has stupid shit. Like, you can't give characters last names. It has to be from a first-person perspective. They ban people for arbitrary reasons. It's so fucking stupid. So what is Are No Sleep? Like, what is the subreddit about then? I would assume it's about not sleeping at all, but is it like a storytelling, like SCP kind of thing? Please don't say Vagrant Story was amongst the fallen. No, I didn't know Vagrant Story until I was like 28 years old. Ugh. That was one of those games that I just rented all the time. I knew a guy that thought some Death Wish coffee was normal coffee and downed 5 cups. You're right about throwing it all up. Yeah. Like, so yeah, me and my buddy, what we did, his dad gave us like a per diem essentially for driving this truck. And me and him, we were young and stupid. And we went into a gas station. We were like, dude, we haven't slept in so long. And my buddy JP is like, don't worry, I have an idea. And he, you know how they have those displays for the 5-hour energy drinks at gas stations in America? He just bought the whole cardboard box display. And we sat that in between us in the U-Haul, and we were just down in 5-hour energies. And then we stopped at we had to stop at a McDonald's. He's like, dude, I have to stop. My stomach's fucked up. And I was like, dude, you're such a pussy. And we probably got like 5 miles down the road before I had to stop too. And we just puked our guts out. And we thought at first, like, what did we eat? What did we get food poisoning from? And then he looked it up on the internet, and it turns out you can only drink so much caffeine before you just die immediately. I fucking love Grimbeard's video on that game. We talking about Silent Hill? Grimbeard's great. You killer. I think one of my biggest problems about me making videos is I can't pull off how Grimbeard is able to sound so off the cuff. I want that so bad. I can't do it. When I'm reading a script, I read it like a robot. I'm like, and then he walked into the room. Those things taste like cough medicine. They do. They suck. It's awful. We drank like 30 of them.
Daddy?
1,000 milligrams. Yeah, that makes sense.
Daddy? Where are you?
Cheryl!
What does this have over the PS1 version? 16 by 9 support, so widescreen support, 120 FPS, a per pixel lighting code for the flashlight. Once again, just in case you guys, because I love showing off per vertex versus per pixel flashlight code. So this is per vertex, bam, per pixel. Much more realistic lighting. And a whole bunch of other stuff. But at the moment, it's not finished, so it's not exactly a one-to-one. You get a bunch of positives out of it with no negatives. A 3-day nosebleed, holy shit. Damn, all right. I don't feel like my nose bled from that, but I would be terrified if I had a 3-day nosebleed. That's about all the blood I have. I assume you meant she reaches out and not she roaches out, but that sounds way funnier. So. Blue Raspberry Ghost is the current favorite energy drink. I like that one red punch monster. It's like a something punch, and the can looks like a Ed Hardy shirt. That's all I remember. Something punch. That I think that's still to this day my favorite energy drink of all time. Was this PC port hard to get going? No, not at all. I mean, if you whitelist it from Chrome's virus scan and Windows Defender, it's super easy because then all you have to do is supply ISO of Silent Hill for the PS1 and it's good to go. Then you can set it up to be widescreen or 4:3, or you could turn dithering off and on, or affine texture warping, whatever. It's just you go through the launcher and you're good to go. So unlike most PC games, installing it and getting it working is nothing. It's downloading it. That's the fucking problem. Damn, this game looks really good. It does. It's really cool. I can't wait till this is finished. I'm working right now on a video covering just this early alpha version, but okay, can we reload this room? Because this is not how I want to see this. Let's see. Oh, there we go. I'm the best. You know what what I always think about this scene right here? This level of misdirection, I've only ever seen pulled off this well in the Night of the Living Dead remake, 1993 Tom Savini version. Because in the last room, a cat jumps out and scares you, right? So you're like, oh, there's nothing in there. That must be the scare. Oh, I guess I'll just continue on my way. Bam! Fucking body falls out, right? That is exactly like the fucking guy at the graveyard in Night of the Living Dead, where he's like, I'm sorry. So sorry. What a fucking badass bait and switch. God, it's the best zombie movie ever made. Truly, there has never been a better zombie movie than the Night of the Living Dead remake. It's bizarre seeing the other world so smooth and clean. I think if the textures were smoothed in any way, I would not be a fan of this high of a resolution. Because normally what I like to do is upscale the internally rendered 240p, right? But oh, I haven't even tried that. I'm an idiot. Okay. But I think because oh, fuck. Because we're still getting the sort of like undetailed, nasty native resolution textures. And I don't know, it's much more pleasing to my palate than a lot of similarly scaled PS1 style games. Will this ever be available on Steam? This specifically, no. This is a user-made decomp of the original PS1 version, so I imagine this will never be on Steam. And I don't imagine Konami will ever be smart enough to make enough money to profit off of their work with
Talking
Silent Hill
horror.
1.
Are you watching Widow's Bay?
Widow's Bay. Thin Layer of Dust. Thank you for the 249. Again, by the way, I saw that you had super chatted me before the stream
Hey,
started.
Derek,
Thank
do
you. I
think
hope
Sony
you
should
heard
make
my thanks
classic
for that,
Silent
but
Hill
I've never
1
heard
and
of
2
Widow's Bay.
available through the Classics collection like they did with RE2 and 3 Classic? And has anyone asked about PlayStation ceasing disc support in 2028 tonight?
Zachary Smith, thank you so much for the $20, dude. Do you think Sony should make Classic Silent Hill 1 and 2 available through Classics Collection? I don't think Konami would want that. Because the only version of Silent Hill 2 that they have that's playable in higher resolutions is the HD collection. And I don't think they want people remembering that exists. It would be nice, though, if a sort of PS1 Classics emulated version of SH1 were to show up on the PSN, though. That would be nice. In terms of the Sony axing disc support, yeah, we had a whole thing going on about it when the stream first started. I mean, it's awful. There's just no way around it. There's no positives to be had there. It's just a fucking shitty situation. And what I said before was something makes me feel like something will happen. Like the fans will get together. The people that play these games will get together and keep this from actually coming to fruition. Because that feels so astronomically bad that there's almost no way it can actually happen. You know what I mean? This sort of feels way worse than when the Dreamcast failed and Sega was like, hey, we're not going to do consoles anymore. I almost didn't believe that that would actually happen. So part of me thinks that something's got to keep this from happening. But it is pretty fucked up that in the same like week that they announced that they were going to go all digital, they cut off the PS3 and Vita storefronts. So it's like anybody who bought any of those games digitally, it's like they make a statement and then prove to their supporters how bad of an idea it was to make that statement in the same week. That requires a level of business acumen that truly could only come from a Japanese company. So what's up with this Silent Town? They selling drugs? They are, actually. Am I crazy, or were there never fucking wheelchairs in this room? Have I lost my mind? This is brand new to me. I've never seen wheelchairs in this fucking room. That's wild. If they're going all digital, why remove the PSN PS3 store? Because here's the thing about Japanese developers. Japanese companies in general are sort of used to having a fuck you, pay me sort of attitude. It's not about like, oh, we will have a sort of a relationship with our clientele and, you know, we'll provide them with a service and then they'll appreciate that service and then they will continue to support us in the future. It's not that. It's like, let's figure out a way to sell a service that people can only get from us. That way we could do whatever the fuck we want and they can't do anything about it. Japanese businessmen are famously some of the least intelligent people on planet Earth when it comes to actually making money. This is one thing I noticed. You guys probably can't hear it at all, but if you could hear, there's no rain sound effects in the courtyard, which is a bit of a bug. Are the drugs any good? I mean, are you looking at this place? They have to be. They fucking They gotta be good as hell. As someone who games exclusively on PC via Steam, I don't think cutting out physical disc will affect Sony much, to be honest. I think that there's a chance you're right. And the chance that you're right is if people continue to allow this to happen. Because there's a problem with people who play modern day Sony exclusives. They're not really interested in video games per se. They're sort of interested in the cult of personality surrounding video games, if that makes any sense. So they could give a shit less about the future of whether or not they will own God of War. Because all they're thinking about is like, yeah, I just can't wait to play the next God of War game, right? I think modern day video game exclusives are so ephemeral. They're so just, they're here today, gone tomorrow, and they're not meant to be enjoyed over and over again for years and years and years on end. So none of these people give a shit about going all digital. They're like, oh, whatever. I don't give a shit. You know, I have like 3.5 hours to game every week when I'm done taking care of the kids. And all I give a shit about is like taking a screenshot next to a cool thing and making a post on Facebook so the other dads can see that I played the new Call of Duty game. That's a large percentage of who's making Sony money. And if that continues to be the case, yeah, 100%, it's not going to affect Sony very much. But if the people who piss and moan about this shit all the time on Twitter actually do something about it, and then they don't support exclusives on a platform that they don't agree with morally, I could see a genuine change being made and Sony having to walk that back the same way they had to walk back the initial shutdown of the PS3 storefront. I think it's 100% doable to get a sort of course correct on this, but it would require all of the fucking people on the internet who do nothing but piss and moan and who lack the ability to put any action behind their words. The kind of people who think the word advocacy is more important than action. It would require them to actually do something, which I don't have a lot of confidence in. So it sucks, but you're probably going to be right on that one. I have a very defeatist mindset when it comes to modern day video games. And it's because I mean, you guys got to keep in mind, I probably bought 2 pieces of DLC in my entire fucking life. I did not agree with DLC practices for the longest time. So I've been through with all this shit since before Jim Sterling became a fucking consumer advocate. Like, this shit has been fucking done for me for a long time. So to hear Sony say, hey, by the way, we're doing some other fucked up shit, I'm like, yeah, that tracks. That makes sense. You would do probably the dumbest thing imaginable with your business. That makes sense, yeah. I could see that. Oh, the last time I played this, these bars were super hard to see, and now they're not. So that means they're making meaningful changes. This is sick. Hell yeah, dude. An honest PC port? Yep. In the most genuine sense of the term. The only problem is it's made by the fans and not by an actual company. But on the plus side, the last time Konami commissioned ports of their Silent Hill games, it was the HD collection. So. Yo. Fuck off. Who remembers this? So smart. I'm the fucking smartest guy in the whole wide world. Everybody knows it. You all talk about it. I gave away my PS5 after I rebuilt my PC. Yeah, I can't think of any Sony exclusives I give a shit about, to be honest. No, we started the boss fight in a fucked up texture room. That sucks. It really would be nice if they would do something about this problem, because it's, you know, over the course of like 5 updates, it still exists. But, you know, then again, this is free.
I work with a lot of Japanese businesses selling software. I'm shocked by how focused they are on ROI. I've worked in the US, Europe. Money is free. They drop money just to spend it. Here, they have to actually make profit.
TBD 137. Thank you so much for the 2,000 yen. Much appreciated. How focused they are on ROI. Yeah, I've never, I don't know. Like, if I'm thinking like Nintendo, for example, or let's say Capcom. Let's say you are examining Capcom from a business acumen perspective. And Resident Evil 2 remake made that company a boatload of cash, just an incredible amount of money. You would imagine, as someone who like understands business at a very surface level scale, you would probably see that and you would say, oh, well, I imagine Capcom moving forward will try to replicate the processes that were in place that made that game so profitable, right? And then you see their output for the entire fiscal year after. Let's give them some leeway, because the fiscal year after RE2 remake were games that were already in development at the time. But let's say after that point, it's not a bunch of stuff trying to mimic the processes that brought them financial success with RE2 remake, but instead like asymmetrical online multiplayer games. Is that it? Yeah, there we go. So I think, honestly, I don't think I can explain what would drive a person to do some of the shit that Capcom does. And the same thing with Konami. I think Konami sits on their IPs in situations where they could instead financially benefit from selling them to a developer who might use them better. But I think there's also a sort of like hard-headedness to Japanese business where it's like, no, we can't let something like Silent Hill slip away, even though, you know, they didn't even plan on developing Silent Hill games. They were done with video games, and they still refused to sell the property, even when they were making most of their money off of gambling machines and gym equipment. Now, luckily, they ended up making stuff like the Silent Hill 2 remake, which is very good, and then Silent Hill F, which is... everybody hates me for that. I'm sorry. That was a really fucking shit game. Hey,
I
suck
would
my
love
dick.
to see
What's up,
another
dude?
Buffy Vampire Slayer game or a game set in the universe called Slayer, but I feel everyone be offended Slayers must be girls.
You know, honestly, Regan, I would fucking love a new Buffy the Vampire Slayer game. You know what I would even love is a sort of like reboot of the narrative universe within a video game. That would be sick as fuck. To be honest with you though, Regan, I think Buffy is one of those series that gets a pass with pretty much everything. Everybody knows Buffy, and they know what it's all about.
No text
So
to call
I don't
for
think that
Cookie
would
Boy
that
on
would get
Re4
the
I'm kerfuffled.
like, oh, they're going woke kind of treatment. I feel like Buffy would be pretty okay, if I had to guess. The first Silent Hill is just so nice with PS1 full 3D environments. Yeah, there's something about PS1 full 3D that it hits in a totally different way. Full agreement. Yo, King Grogu, what's up, Cookie Boy? How we doing? No text or call for Cookie Boy and Ari Point. Thank you for the $2, man. DJ Cookie Boy in the house today, dude. I love that Netwraith was able to be ingratiated into the Cookie Boy lore recently. Oh, you know what? I forgot to... What we got going on? Thunder's Productions. Thank you so much. 5 gifted memberships. Yo, hell yeah. Hell fucking yeah. Everybody who just got gifted a membership now gets access to not only the next video that I'm working on, which will be a modern Resident Evil clone video, early access, but the Discord, which is where I pop in like maybe once a week to talk about new bands I'm listening to. And everybody makes fun of me and then I leave, essentially. I forgot what I was talking about, though. I'll be honest with you guys. Yeah, isn't that crazy? He was so young. What did he die from? It was like a terminal illness, like a cancer or something, right? It seems like everybody's fucking dying lately. There's something going on. All right, let's save again
Yeah,
because
that's
I have
trash.
OCD.
Large businesses run on a 3 to 4 year clock.
Huh.
Something pops off. It takes like 3 to 4 years for them to tilt.
Yeah.
Every project is like a 3 to 4 year boat that can't change direction.
Interesting. Okay, so by the time something hits, all of the projects they were working on before that success still have to come out, and they may have not been. I see what you're saying. Okay, thank you for the 1,000 yen, TVD. Very much appreciated, dude. I guess. Are you an expat living in Japan right now, or are you Japanese by birth? I assume you say you work with the Japanese. It means that you're not.
Biatches.
I could be just assuming though. Thank you for the $2. Regan always has the best game pitches. Biatches. Dude, Biatches is a fucking sick ass way to say that, by the way. I literally and unironically have no idea who Oliver Tree is. Can I get some context? I just know that he died. So Arkanu, he started out as kind of like a meme slash TikTok slash short form content creator, jokey kind of guy. And then he started a music career. And he's one of the few content creators that successfully made the crossover from content creation to music. And you know, I'm not gonna lie, I've never enjoyed his music at all. Like, really, it's never hit me in an appreciative way. But my wife loves it, and my buddy Steven's all about it. So he's got some for real fans. But yeah, and then he died, and that sucks. He was such a fucking young guy too, dude. Wild shit's going on, man. Like, I could give a shit less about his career, his content, or anything like that, but just the loss of a human life alone is enough to fuck me up on that one. King Grogu, thank you for the $5, my man. Yeah, Cookie Boy, home to smash the flow and eat bok choy. Because it's how I roll and make dough. So give me RE4 and I'll make it show as Pierce because I'm a G. Cookie Boy is fucking off the leash. I haven't slept in a long enough period for King Grogu to become so much more entertaining. Oh no. Okay, I was about to say, how do I get out of this fucking... All right, so I know that is how I proceed forward to the Balkan Church, but is there anything else I need to do? You know what? We might go up Levine Street towards the, yeah, let's go up Levine Street and see if there's any kind of items to get. Joe likes a weird mix of stuff. If there's one thing that is true about Josine is that she fucking likes some weird shit. She's a strange gal. She's also big on like 90s country, like 90s era Garth Brooks and whatever else 90s country is. Oh, there was another YouTube there with him. He was like collaborating. Dude, that sucks. That really does suck. I mean, even when it's like someone whose content I've never really enjoyed, they still kind of had a similar career as me, right? And there's a bit of a like a kindred sort of camaraderie in that. So when someone in the job ends up going, and it's a young guy, and he didn't, you know, as far as I know, he didn't really have any sort of controversy.
I'm that dude
He's a
who asked about
YouTuber.
bands
Somehow he
here
didn't
not too
diddle any
long ago.
kids. You know what I mean?
Big
So
metalhead
it
and nerd who
sucks.
somehow snuck their way into the corporate world.
Oh,
They're
TBD.
trapped
All
in
right,
here with
sick.
me.
Hell yeah,
Off
dude.
to take my JLPT.
Oh, thank you for the
Have
1,000
fun.
yen. Who asked about bands not too long ago? Big metalhead. I love that. That cover band. What was it? A cover band for In Flames, I want to say. Somehow snuck their way into the corporate world. They're trapped in here with me. I'll have to take my JLPT. Dude, good luck. Hell fucking yeah, dude. Good fucking luck. You know, I still have never taken the JLPT. And a part of it is because I don't need it. And then the other part of it is because I'm afraid that I'll do really poorly on it. My man, hell yeah. You know what, guys? I'm gonna be totally honest. I'm telling you right now what I should do from like a YouTuber perspective, if I wanted to do well and have my numbers look good, is I'd continue streaming because there's a lot of people watching and the chat's really active. But I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm so tired I might die. Thank you all so much for hanging out today. It's been real. We've been having some fucking fun. Thank you to everybody who super chatted, who joined up as members, or somebody's talking about Sex Machine Guns. Heavy Metal Thunder for life. Thank you to Thunder's Production for gifting subscribers. Somebody else did as well. Who did it? I'm trying to remember your name. I completely forget it. Somebody gifted a membership before, and I'm an idiot. But thank you guys so much. It's been incredibly nice. Everybody, please make wise choices. Don't drive drunk. Be very safe this 4th of July. Celebrate freedom with the knowledge that you will be around to continue celebrating it tomorrow. Speaking of which, I will be here tomorrow around the same time. Everybody have a good one. Bye-bye.